Welcome to the audio ministry of Nanda Flora Williams. She is a speaker, author, psalmist, and coach. As you listen, be inspired, motivated, and challenged.
Hello everyone, welcome to Treasures for Living. We're continuing our series on attraction, and today I'll be talking about chemistry. So I'll start by reading some scriptures, and there's quite a portion of it to read, but it's worth reading every part. So Genesis 39, and I'm reading the King James. And Joseph was brought down to Egypt. It's interesting that in the Bible says that Joseph was brought down. We can see God taking Joseph through a time of humbling to Egypt. And Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, an Egyptian, brought him of the hands of the Ishmaelites, which had brought him down. Oh, this King James version, it's so complicated. Anyway, and the Lord was with Joseph, and he was a prosperous man, and he was in the house of his master, the Egyptian. And his master saw that the Lord was with him, and that the Lord made all that he did to prosper. So Joseph prospered in the house of Potiphar, and God allowed all that he did to prosper. And I believe that it was because Joseph was faithful. Verse 4, Joseph found grace in his sight, and he served him. And he made him overseer over his house, and all that he put into his hand. And it came to pass from the time that he made him overseer in his house, and over all that he had, that the Lord blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake. And the blessing of the Lord was upon all that he had in the house and in the field. And he left all that he had in Joseph's hand, and he knew not aught he had, except the bread which he ate. And Joseph was a goodly person and well favored. I believe that Joseph was very handsome. Verse 7, it says, and it came to pass after these things. So now Joseph has come, he's come down to Egypt. He's been a slave. He's come down. He's come into the house of his master, and he's walked faithfully. He's been faithful. It doesn't matter where you start. If we're faithful with God, God will exalt us and God will lift us up. He's been faithful. He's been doing the right thing. And God begins to promote Joseph, to the point where Potiphar now trusts Joseph with everything, except, just maybe his wife and the food that he ate. That's what the Bible says. Joseph has now grown to a place of prominence and importance. It's interesting the things that happen to us when God begins to elevate us. Sometimes people that did not notice us before now begin to notice us. When you have come to your place of blessing, when you have lived your life with your wife, maybe your family over a period, and then God has blessed you, you've come to this place. Sometimes people now begin to notice you. Someone said success has many friends, Okay, it says, and verse 7, it says, and it came to pass after these things that his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph. So after all these things, this is his place of accomplishment, this is his place of increase. She wasn't casting her eyes on him when he came and he was thin and the Ishmaelites had, handed him over to Potiphar. No, she started casting her eyes on him when Joseph had walked there for a while. When Joseph had developed some muscles, he had a six-pack. I believe he must have had like a six-pack, and really looked like quite good, So the Bible says that Potiphar's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph, and she said to him, lie with me. Sometimes it's not just about the woman, it's about men. It can be the other way around. There's this beautiful woman, she has all these qualities, she looks good, she's successful, and all of a sudden, we're attracted to her. Okay, verse 8. Verse 8 says, but his master's wife cast her eyes on him, and she said, so she there was an action. Her eyes were casted on Joseph, and then there were words, lie with me. So their actions, attraction and chemistry, their actions around, there are things happening, there are things just swirling around in the environment, there are all sorts of things going on. And then there are words that are coming forth, creating, when you read the book of Proverbs and it talks about, the loose woman, the adulteress. She's a flatterer. She's seductive. She knows how to make her way. She knows how to create environments. She does things. She organizes. I don't think Delilah was just born, And it's not just when we're reading this, some people just say, oh, yes, the women do it. It's not just the women. Men do it as well. They dress nice, they smell good, have the right car, know the right things to say, open the door for you. They just, create, oh, this person cares about me. Oh, look at how he looks at me. And when they want to help you, maybe, with something, they just let their hand linger a little bit longer over yours. It's madness. Attraction. Okay. Verse 8 says, but for Joseph, he refused and said unto his master's wife. It doesn't say that he called her by her name. It says, but he refused. He refused. He exercised his will to do the right thing. And when these things begin to happen around us, we have a choice. We can refuse. And the Bible says, and he said unto his master's wife. It doesn't call her name. It is interesting that it just talks about his master's wife. So Joseph's response and recognition of her position, her office, and who she was, it sort of created boundaries within him. Like, this person is out of bounds because they are in covenant with someone else. They are this, they are that. They are my brother or my sister in church. They are holy. They should not be defiled. This person is my colleague at the workplace. They belong to someone else. So I don't get involved with them. It says, but he refused and said unto his master's wife, behold, my master does not care what happens. He has committed all that he has into my hand. There is none greater in this house than I, and he has kept back nothing from me but you, because you are his wife. So Joseph considers, he reflects upon what is happening. When all this chemistry and this attraction and the words and the perfume and the fragrances and the extra time and the long nights, and when all those things are happening, you need to call yourself to order. Just need to call yourself to order and say, actually, this person is married. Or you say, this person is my friend. Or this person is a brother and sister in need. Or this person is in a vulnerable position. Or this person needs help. And I don't need to be doing all this with this person. Okay, it says, we'll go on verse 10. Joseph now talks about the whole situation, and he reminds her of who she is and where she needs to be. Verse 10, it says, and it came to pass as she spoke to Joseph day by day. Wow, she was stubborn. She was insistent. She was persistent. Sometimes when people know what they want, they take their time. They will wait. Satan is evil. The Bible says he goes about like a roaring lion seeking for whom he may devour. And I think when Satan came to the garden to tempt Eve, if he had come like a dragon, come like the way we see him depicted, with in a red suit and a pitchfork and a tail, and he had I believe that when we see the enemy, where anytime the enemy is revealed at the end, in the end times, that he will be such a handsome, glamorous looking person that we won't believe. Well, that's my opinion, and we will not believe how he looks like. And the Bible says she spoke to him day by day. There was a persistent, sometimes when these things are going on around us, it's persistent, it's continued. They are trying to break down your resolve. Don't play around with it. Shut it down when it starts. Let's stop playing games, Let's stop playing games. Actually, I just need to give the person a lift. It's past a certain time. It is late. Let them drop at the station. Do not drive them in your car when it's late. Do not stay on a rainy night, watching a movie. Do not go to the movies with them and hold their hand. When they're crying, there's always, we just need to be smart about some certain things. Okay, you already know that your body chemistry, your body is attracted to, there are people we meet. Let's be honest, let's be down to earth. There are people we meet and you just don't know. There's something in you and something in them that just clicks. It just clicks. You cannot explain it. It makes no sense. You're embarrassed that it's happening. Just thinking, actually, either I'm married or I should not be not thinking necessarily. I should not be having these feelings about this person. You just think, this is awkward. This is very awkward. You just don't understand. Your body chemistry and that person's body chemistry just clicks. I believe that Potiphar's wife would have had that kind of chemistry. that kind of, attraction. Like, maybe Joseph would just walk past her in the house while he was doing his chores, and her body would just be like, oh, can I just go after you?
Thank you for listening to this message. We trust that you've been blessed, encouraged, and transformed to go out and make a difference.